Today on the Cyber Security Podcast, we're going to talk about common holiday scams, how to avoid them, and what to look out for. This is the Cyber Security Podcast, the cybersecurity podcast with a little extra BS. I'm Andrew Nuxwell.
And I'm Nathaniel Big.
And let's just jump right into it, Nathaniel. So the first scam that is common around the holiday seasons people should look out for is just the use of fake websites. And that's very common, can lead to a lot of different compromises or inconveniences, to say the least. But fake websites are always popular, but especially effective during the holiday season.
A couple things to think about is, have you recognized this website before? And also Google the website and tie in that keyword phishing or scam. And you might often see that a whole bunch of alerts will pop up.
Yeah. And one warning sign, if you're going out trying to purchase a gift or an item for yourself and you see a price that's just too good to be true, chances are it is. I remember falling for one myself years and years ago. Tried to buy my daughter a pair of UGG boots and they were like $40 and they were always 150, and all of a sudden they get the confirmation email and it's in Mandarin, and I'm like, oh no, what did I do? And so canceled debit cards and fun stuff like that. It's easy to fall for them, and I think a lot of people do. But
yeah, the other part about that is also getting emails that go to a fake domain as well, or a website that looks really like the legitimate website. Well, what the hacker's done is they've crafted a web page that looks like the legitimate site to make you put in information. And often this occurs with credential harvesting. So the goal is to put your credentials in that website and you sign in, and maybe nothing happens. You may go back and think, okay, nothing happened. I don't know what to do. But what they've done is then compromise your passwords. And so one thing to pay attention to is look at that domain link in your email, hover over the link. Typically don't open the email link in your mobile phone because it's very hard to see the link. So go to your computer, hover over the link, see where it goes. And a good practice is just to go right to the vendor's website, like Amazon.com. I see so many links that are bad from Amazon, people faking Amazon. A good practice, go right to Amazon.com, click your orders list, and see what the state of the order is there.
Right, for sure. And you're going to see an uptick in, like you said, Amazon, Walmart, any of your hardware stores, places that you frequently are shopping from, retailers this time of year. It's common, and it's easy to think that, oh, it's just a shortened link. A lot of times you'll see a short link and think it's just going to take you to the website. They've gotten really creative at making things look authentic, and like you said, definitely better if you can do it on a large format device and not necessarily a mobile device. That isn't always possible, but just be extra careful that you know exactly where you're going when you click on the link.
Yeah, and make sure that you are thinking about misspelling in a domain too. So like they might just change one or two characters in that domain, and like Microsoft, maybe they'll take out the C, or they'll change an O to a 0 in a domain. So those are some things to think about.
Yeah, for sure. Along the same lines, not necessarily fake websites, but websites stood up that are unsecured. That's also a problem.
Very true.
Right. Tying closely in also order confirmation scams. So you'll see a lot of phishing campaigns. And again, another thing that happens year round, they attach a sense of urgency to it, try to get you to click on a link. Oh, you had a package that couldn't be delivered, or your package is delayed. And so many people are ordering things this time of year, leads to easy targets in terms of clicking bad links.
And this happens a lot too with smishing. So we'll see a lot of links through text. So be aware of those too. And a lot of them look really official. They might even say upzship.com. And so it looks just like maybe a UPS link, but typically UPS is not going to send a link out. I haven't seen really a lot of legitimate links. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I think they typically won't send a link in their text alert. So be very careful of those links. And remember too, this is holiday season and a lot of retailers are making a lot of money, but cyber business is also for hackers the most lucrative season.
Yeah.
So this is the time.
It's peak season for hackers too, for sure.
It's a business for them. Very illegitimate, but it's also a way for them to, so they're going to try everything possible to get your money or steal your information.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think one good tip for, especially for order tracking that people might want to consider. And I know I personally am among the people that I don't like to have any more apps on my mobile devices than I need to, but if you get a lot of shipments or expect a lot of shipments, having a partner website like UPS or FedEx or the USPS informed delivery notification setup, those are going to be reliable ways to receive a notification that you might actually have a problem with the delivery, and much more reliable than an SMS, like you said.
That's great. And another way to check a link is go to virustotal.com, paste the link right into their search bar, and usually it'll come up with a list of 40 different security vendors that have rated the website. If you see it's all green, that's a good starting point. It's not necessarily a confirmation that it's completely clean, but it's definitely a place to start and verify the link. If you start to see some reds, definitely take a deeper look at it. And that's one way to verify a link and to kind of look at the domain without opening the website in a browser. Just make sure you don't click the link inadvertently, moving it to that web browser with VirusTotal. That can be bad too.
Right. Yeah, so we talked about SMS, and one thing I've been hearing a lot about lately is the QR code phishing scams, or quishing, some call it. That's really seen an uptick. It's funny, this has been around for a long time, and I'll tell my funny story that back when the Rickroll became kind of popular, everybody would send you a link to Rick Astley on YouTube singing "Never Gonna Give You Up." I actually had a QR code generator and created a link to that and printed it out on QR codes, and as a test would just randomly set it around the office and sit on a cubicle on the other side of the wall and wait for somebody to come over, and all of a sudden that song start blaring on their phone, and know that, oh, you just fell for it. It was kind of a joke, but it gets really sophisticated. I heard or saw a news story last week that in China, a woman used a QR code to pay for her tab at a restaurant and posted it on social media. So there's your, automatically kind of risky behavior to post data on social media like that. But it turned out she also posted the QR code and people could add things to her tab. And so just as a joke, people started adding everything. And she ended up with a $60,000 food tab being billed to her credit card the day after she had dined at this restaurant, just from people on social media getting a hold of it and spreading it. And everybody's ordering 25 gallons of squid paste and so on. So, but there's a lot that can be done with QR codes, even when you think you're at a reputable location. You have to be careful.
You can see them in restaurants too for the little menus, and at a lot of malls too. So that's a hard one to really track, because when you scan it, you're just kind of assuming it's a quick way to get to a location. And plus, a lot of the QR code, the location link is using like a URL shortener. So that can be really hard to track if it's a legitimate link. Yeah.
They are dangerous. If you can get your hands on a paper menu at those places, I'd say you're probably better off. But I know I was been in the airport several times recently, and if you want to order food in several of the airports, paper menus are not an option. Even standing in line and ordering is not an option. A lot of times you got to park your butt at a table and get your phone out. And
That's another good tip too, as a lot of people are traveling this holiday season, making sure that you are aware of email security and security in general on your devices, different people's houses and restaurants and public spaces, making sure you're probably not going to want to connect to any of those public Wi-Fi hotspots.
yeah, if
What
you can
else?
avoid it, for sure, don't. And the other thing that happens a lot, uh, just using a USB charger in a public place that
Yes.
plugging in, it it's so easy to just assume, oh, all this is electricity. But if you go out on YouTube or do a little bit of research on how people compromise USB charging access, it's unreal the things that criminals are able to do with this. Basically, you plug your phone in and it just starts downloading contacts, downloading data. There are some devices out there. A lot of people don't like the term that's used for them, but most commonly I hear them referred to as data condoms. You can look on Amazon or many other electronics retailers and buy a data condom if you feel like you're going to be traveling a lot and might have the need to plug into an unsecure location, or just buy yourself a power block and keep it charged and carry it with you so that you can charge on your own term. Same with a hotspot or something like that. If you can avoid using public Wi-Fi, public charging, etc., you're probably much better off.
And when you have guests over, a good hint too, create a separate guest network for them. You don't want to bring in their devices and now you don't know exactly what they might have on their phones or what they might access. Obviously not intentionally, but it can happen too.
Yep, most modern Wi-Fi routers, or especially third party, if you don't use the one that your telecom provider gave to you, if you get your own, there's a number of easy setups to have a secondary guest network that people can connect to, so that kind of gives you one layer extra protection.
So to kind of summarize, we've got fake websites and credential harvesting. We got order confirmation alerts, QR codes. Be aware of social media scams, smishing, and continue to practice email security and don't connect to public Wi-Fi. So those are some great tips. Got any holiday plans, Andrew, for the next few weeks?
Well, you're going to try to get together with kids and grandkids within the next week or so, and have some birthdays and Christmas to celebrate with them. And then from Christmas through New Year's this year, we're going to pretty much be on our own, just chilling, catching up, working around the house and so on. So looking forward to a pretty relaxing actual holiday, Christmas through New Year's. What about you?
Sounds relaxing. Yeah. So we're sticking around here in North Carolina and just enjoying the Christmas time and the New Year celebrations and parties and just hanging out with family. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Second fun question. As a child or as an adult, any particular gift you remember getting that you were just super excited about?
Wow. Yeah. Man, I think it was my 7th Christmas. I was probably about 7 years old. Got a red sled, and I just was so excited about that. How about you?
Yeah. I would say when I got it, I didn't even know what it was. But I was about 5 years old, have a brother and a sister that are 8 and 9 years older than me. And they wanted so badly an Intellivision, which was, a competitor of Atari for those that aren't familiar with it, an early video game system. So, this was late 70s, early 80s time frame. But they were expensive, and I remember like my brother mentioning that, and like my parents just flat out saying, no, you're not getting it. And it was kind of like the Red Ryder BB gun situation. We have no idea still to this day how they ended up affording it, how they got it. But Christmas morning, there was an Intellivision, and it ended up like, I fell in love with video games and because of that thing. And so that's the one that I remember from a child. Didn't even know that I wanted it, but once we got it, I was like addicted.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, We're going to try to get together again before the holidays and record another episode, but who's to say how crazy things get? So if we don't talk to the audience, happy holidays to you, and look forward to getting together again soon.
Definitely. And Merry Christmas to everyone out there, and have a great, wonderful few weeks, and stay cyber safe out there.